I bid thee welcome, a chess friend of mine. Today we have a full well older puzzle. It's known as Al-Suli's diamond, as he was the one who invented it in this study called the diamond in the 900s AD. Here's the man himself. And here is the puzzle. It's blue's turn to move and to win. Now back in the day, Al-Suli wrote down, "This is very old, yet no one has said whether it is drawn or can be won. There is no one on earth who has solved it, unless he was taught by me. I have never learnt that there was anyone before, for if anyone had solved it, he would either have written down the solution or have taught it to someone else. This is the word of Al-Suli." Okay, so it's basically Al-Suli versus all of time and space. Now, we need to quickly explain the relevant rules. The kings here move as you'd expect, and these pieces that are not kings are ancient versions of queens, called furzes. They can only move one square diagonally at a time, so they're very weak. And you can win the game by taking all of the enemy pieces except for the king, unless that king can capture your last piece on the next move, in which case it's a draw. So a little bit different from modern chess, but it's still very simple. So let's see what might happen if you were to give this a go. Let's just try some silly examples first to get you used to the pieces. For example, moving here and then captures, and it's a draw. So, of course, that's no good. How about moving the furs up here and heading behind the king? Well, if you were to do this, like so, then you'll see that we end up with each king capturing the opposing furs and again ending in a draw. So again, that's no good. You will soon find that there always seems to be a way for red to immediately capture the blue furs as soon as the red furs is captured. The thing to realise is that red's defence is to always keep the same distance from the blue king as the blue furs is from the red furs. Then he can always capture the blue furs in time. So let's try something a little bit more complicated. Furs to d2, and now you can see the distance between the two furs is that the red king has to match between the kings, so obviously king to e4. And now king to c3, and again red is going to make the same distance between the pieces. And now we have king to c2, king to f3, furs to c3, and now king to e4. So again, just continuing to match the distances here. Now furs to b4, king to d5, king to b3, king to c6, king to a2, and now king to b5. And now obviously the king is going to catch up with the furs. You can try to delay it a little bit like this, but he's always going to come in behind, and then it's just going to be a stalemate. So that's how the defense works for red. So let's wind back to the original position. So if you tried this puzzle yourself on your own board, you'll soon find that it seems absolutely impossible. In fact, this puzzle is so hard that it went unsolved for over 1,000 years. However, one fine day in 1993, a new hero announced that he had found a solution, and his name was Yuri Averbach. There he is. He's got a huge cranium that he has to support with his hand, or he's using his mind to control the pieces on the board. Whatever, he's got a very big brain. He realised that blue needs to drive the king to the edge of the board, which disrupts the strategy of keeping the correct distance. So the winning move, which apparently Al-Suli wrote down all of those years ago, was king to b4. So well done if you got that. Of course, the red king has to follow the plan of keeping the correct distance between the pieces. And this enables the blue king to work the red king up the diagonal center of the board towards the far corner. So let's just play through until we get there, always matching the distance. And then we get up to g8 and then h8. And this is the subtle key to the problem. You can now force the red king to lose the correct distance. So you come across, and now the red king has to move back to here because he's got no choice. You can see now that it's mismatched. Here we do an extra furs move, furs to d2. We have king to f8, and now we even have time to tuck the furs into c1 before continuing. The red king just can't get back into the right position, but he'll try. He'll come straight back down the diagonal, so let's see this happen. Here he goes. The blue king follows down, and this just keeps going down the center of the board until we get to the final position. The blue king comes down to b1, and now it's impossible for red to do anything more. If he were to move the furs, for example, it's just going to be a capture. And now, because the red king can't capture the furs here, it's not stalemate anymore. It's a win by the bear king rule, because you can't immediately capture the last remaining piece. And the only other choice, of course, is just to move the king aside, and then we just pick up the furs, and he can't reach the other furs in time. So that's it. Very cool stuff indeed. So well done to Mr. Averbach. I'm super impressed. And well done, Al-Suli. That record of 1,000 years looks like it will never, ever be beaten. I'll see you again next time.